close to around.
In India, you would say a few thousands about only the rate of inflation
Very, very interesting question. The recent inflation number is 1.8% close, and 2% is what their target rate is. And the issue is that, yeah, once it hits 2%, they think that, and the unemployment comes to close to around 6.5%, they decide to take it. And since during the recent shutdown, they have lost a little bit on the growth, and also a little bit on the inflation part, maybe. Of course, the recent numbers are yet to come. The expectation in the market is that they have deviated a little bit. As I said, the money is not only staying in the economy, the money is also going outside the money is also going outside the economy. Calculation is working as of now at 1.8% to 2% is whenever they exceed, they go. And with India, there are other issues also, like supply side issues, big supply side issues. It's not only demand side inflation. I mean, since because we don't have a great infrastructure, we don't have a right system of storing products, we don't have the right transportation. Even though printing is not an issue here, but there are supply side issues because of which inflation is going up. And of course, we are dependent on the oil, and the rupee is weakening. So that's also adding to a lot of inflation pressures, which is not very, very relevant in case of US. Any other question? Yeah.
Why is it the lead pain of American policy? Because of that.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oil, like energy,
yeah,
has been the lead pain of American policy.
Right.
And that has dropped all the prices.
Right.
America has gone in for large scale fracking.
Large scale?
Fracking. That is solving the problem of energy. In fact, that is what has made them buy Saudi Arabia in the recent crisis. In India, it's been extended the fracking technology to America in the year past. We have grown in. Do you think that is going to be effect? How much is going to affect Indian CAD, and they are going to get us getting benefits from that?
So, to be very honest, I'm not an energy expert, but still I'll try to answer your question. So, typically I don't understand that till the time we don't catch this technology and get it rolling, and at least on a quarter-on-quarter basis we start seeing the oil imports coming down. How much will it affect our CAD is a very difficult question to answer. And of course, how much cooperation are we going to get from other people who are supplying us with so much oil? And we are paying for that. Are we going to get from those people? That's again a point. Because typically whenever there is a R&D happening in various countries around the world, the largest and the biggies take it over or don't cooperate. To use some means to stop it. Especially in something which is very extremely important like oil. So I'm not being a devil's advocate, but at the same time I want to really see it happening, see the numbers, see the politics around it, and then probably take a call that how it's going to affect us here.
European as well as the Japanese currencies, particularly in relation to rupee. I find that, do you think first of all that these currencies are sizable enough to have a major impact on Indian currency in the years to come? And what is the role of typically the euro and how it is going to happen?
So that's an interesting question. So typically we at India Forex we track 3 or 4 things when we want to know that how the markets are going to move. And I said the Asian currencies, in which Japanese yen is one of them, European currency, the dollar index, and various other commodities and indexes. So with European currency, I think it's the way it's been moving up in the recent past. Of course, we all know Europe is not doing too great. I mean, it has been moving up because the dollar has been weak, and not because the euro has been strong. Yes, we have seen some data coming out which has been decent, but typically the numbers are not too great. Because the dollar weakness and the dollar index going down, the euro currencies have been moving up. So we plotted a correlation diagram between the dollar rupee and the European currency. And trust me, we did find a very, very great correlation. There used to be a very, very good correlation 2 or 3 years back. When the euro used to go up, dollar used to go down, and the rupee also used to appreciate. But in the last couple of years, time or 3 years, we have seen that at times it has given a lot of surprises. So even though the euro has been going up, and dollar has been going down, the rupee has also been going down. So I would not say that we could have a very good correlation. Correlations can stand for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. But if you plot a correlation over 15 years, you will not get a very great number. Second thing was the Japanese yen. So typically, Japanese yen also is playing a lot of trick. So there was a time when the Japanese yen was in a range of around 76 to 80 for like 2-3 years time, and when it broke that range, it just straight up to 100 levels in less than 2 months. So even though the Japanese yen was close to the range of 76-80 vis-a-vis dollar, the rupee was weakening. So typically, the way it should function is the Japanese yen gets stronger, the rupee should also get stronger. And this is what used to happen in 2005, 6, 7. But in the recent past, all the correlations of various asset classes, currencies have taken just gone for a ride. So there are no perfect correlations. It can happen for 3-6 months, but not for a consistent one.
What is the future you see? Do you think the same trend?
So in the medium term, I see that Japanese yen weakening, and that has been our view from the last 6 to 8 months, and we still maintain that. We're looking at Japanese yen in the medium term to go above 103, 104, 105. And for euro, we expect that short term, since the dollar is going weak because of the tapering thing getting delayed, because of some GDP numbers getting out because of the recent shutdown, they have lost a few $1 billion out of the GDP. The US could get slightly weaker, and the euro could still head higher. But on medium to long term, when I see that the dollar is going to get stronger again, once they start tapering, I don't know whether it's going to happen in December, Jan, Mr. Ladaki knows about it. Probably not the new governor, Yellen knows about it, or they have decided about it. So whenever it happens, the US dollar, of course, is going to get stronger. So in a short term, definitely you could see some weakness happen. But a medium to long term, when I say medium to long term, it's 6 months to a year. The dollar should get stronger. Yeah.
Okay, Abhishek, 3 events happen. One, next year, let's say June, QE tapering started happening. 2, Indian bond becomes part of the bond index, global bond index. 3, Narendra Modi wins the Prime Minister of the country. Where do you see the rupee?
So, saying about all the 3 events happening or one by one?
All 3 happened.
Okay. Trust me, very difficult to say. You might say that I'm taking a diplomatic stance, but trust me, I really don't know that what's going to happen in the markets. Yes, I can answer them one by one that what will be the repercussions of the market. Out of all the 3, I would give the maximum weightage to the US QE tapering. So that is something which we're talking about foreign exchange markets. The one thing which drives the currencies is the flows of the funds. Where is the money coming from and where is the money going to? Now that is something which is beyond our control. And if there is a sizable impact of the QE in Indian markets, of course, we are going to see hit for the Indian rupee. Yes, the second question is Narendra Modi. A very political answer, so I don't know really who's going to come. And when Narendra Modi comes, what is the scene around? I really don't know, so I find incapable of answering this question. And third is the index bonds. Of course, it's a step in the right direction. Launching interest rate futures or launching index bonds on the global platform definitely is very, very interesting. And it gives India a lot of opportunity to to tap a lot of funds. At the same time, it gives India an opportunity to attract a little bit of permanent capital. Because once your bonds get listed outside and people start getting interested, they start believing on the credibility of your country. So that can definitely bring in some flows in the market. Of course, the quantum needs to be decided, that what kind of quantum the interest rate futures or sorry, the bonds are going to be, and also with what kind of I would say caveats or the plus and the minuses the government puts in for investment on those kind of bonds. Because you always, I mean, time and again we have seen that whenever there has been a financial inclusion or financial literacy or financial products come in India, it has come with some ifs and buts. So we have to see how transparent and how interesting the product is, and in what shape does it come, in what quantity it comes, to get a clear picture of how much of the funds can India attract during that time. And provided during that time we don't see a very, very active tapering happening from the US, then probably this will work good for the Indian economy. But in isolation, can it propel the rupee up? I have my doubts on that. Can I answer the question?
I have one question.
Yeah.
We are talking about different currencies, but there is a country whose currency has a very strong undercurrent. I've been observing it from 2003 to 2013. In 2003, Swiss franc was for 34 rupees around. And now, in the peak, it has gone to 65. Whereas at that time, the US dollar was 44 rupees, and it has gone maximum 67 something. Secondly, there is zero inflation in Switzerland. For the last 13 years, the bread rate is same. Thirdly, the maximum money goes to Switzerland.
Okay.
Right? From all over the world.
Okay.
Right? So why people don't, do you agree there is a strong undercurrent of Swiss currency?
Yeah. So typically when we say that, where do you invest the money if not US dollar? The answers are three. One is gold, one is Japanese yen, and the second is the Swiss franc. Third is the Swiss franc. Have you been to Switzerland? Yeah. So you have seen that how people are happy and how rich they are and how comfortable lives they live. And something which drives them is, of course, that all the money of all the large players, large businessmen, large institutions are parked at parked at Swiss franc. So typically they have a great banking system which attracts a lot of money, and nobody wants to play around with them. That's my feeling about the currency. At any time when there has been a crisis, the money has always gone to Swiss franc. That's the reason in 2008, when there was a huge crisis, when the Swiss franc was around 1.20 against the US dollar, it went all the way to 0.9, the US dollar, because all the money was going towards the Swiss franc. I personally feel that this particular currency will be a real winner in a longer run also. And whenever there is a crisis, the money is going to go to Swiss franc because of its safe haven status and because of the comfort that people get in investing in the Switzerland. And because of the dynamics and the banking dynamics that they play. I don't have any detailed information about that, but that is something which attracts a lot of money out there. And I think it's going to be the same form.
If we are exporting to Europe